Alright, so now we've got our assembly done. We're going to go to New Presentation. So we're going to go to Create View. Since we have our assembly open, it automatically comes up. We're going to do manual for the explosion method. Don't do automatic, it looks like crap. Do manual, that way you can control it, you can make it look good. It'll say OK, and it brings it in. So I'm going to go to Tweak Components. So now I can tell it, so I've got 3 steps. First, I'm going to pick the direction that I want it to go. So now I'm going to just pick an object to set my UCS. So you can see as I move from object to object, it's switching over, and the Z is always pointing perpendicular. Again, if I don't like it, just click back on direction. Click back on. So you can, I know that it's kind of hard to see, but as I'm turning, you can see the Z is always perpendicular. If I pick on an edge, the Z lines up the edge. Pick a cylinder, it kind of lines up like that. So right now, I'm just picking a direction. It doesn't matter what I pick on, as long as I get it oriented in the right direction. And since Z is the default thing that it's picking to go by, I usually line it up so the Z is going the direction I want to move. So if I want this to go out that way, maybe I'll pick on that as my edge. So now the Z is going that way. Now it has components. I'm going to pick on that. That's my component. And I don't like to show trails. Trails are the lines showing out connects. I don't like those, so I turn those off. So now I tell it, do I want to move it Y, X, Z? I X, Z. I can also rotate it around those axes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move it out. I'm going to move it out 1. Yeah. 2. And then hit close. Now I'll go to tweak again. I'll move this bottom down, so I'm going to pick on that edge. Pick the bottom. -3.
The Z is going up.
I know, but I want to go down.
Oh, so you put a negative. So you still can.
And when I'm doing this, I always want to be in that isometric view because I'm going to put this into my drawing as an isometric, right? Mm-hmm. So I want it to look. I want to see what it's going to look like on my drawing. So I don't like to rotate it different ways. I like to have it just standard one so I can see how it's going. And then close, tweak. I'm going to just click that surface. See, these went out perpendicular to that surface. I'm going to tell it that one, and that one. Come out 2. Close, tweak. On that one, 1. If you change the direction, it doesn't stay. So, pick those. Yeah, I'll make that 1. And then I'll go Y, X, -2. So it kind of fits in there better. So I went back and then up. So save that. Okay. Here's the fun part. If I click Animate, and I hit play, it's going to kind of do it opposite of how I did it. I'm just going to cancel that, go back to Animate. If I click here, can tell it a shorter interval. If I want to move stuff around, I can. Like I want to move those two to the bottom. Move the knob up. Maybe the base all the way to the top. I hit apply. Now I hit play. Maybe I want to move this other one here down too. So like that.
So what does it do by moving it down?
It just happens later in the animation.
But it still goes in the same sequence.
No, I'm changing the sequence. So I changed how the nuts move. Because now they go down and then over. Before, remember it moved the nuts first?
You went over then down.
And so I can make it look good. Now I can go in, reset it. If I want to record this, it might be nice to do a video out of this. What I want to do is I want to get my window, and this is the kind of the place where it sucks, is that it takes whatever your window is and makes it the size that you tell it. It doesn't crop it off, it just stretches it to fit whatever size you tell it. So you want to have that kind of the same proportion at least to your final. So if I was going to do like 4x3, maybe I'd make it kind of like that. So it's kind of got that more of that ratio. So when I hit record, I'll save it. So yeah, that's, I'm going to do land, that one, or no, we're going to end in custom. Go to custom, here for the size, or the bandwidth, I like to make this like 1400. That's how often and how much information it's going to store per second. It's going to store 1400 kilobits per second. And then for the size, I like to go over here and just hit custom. So that way it's going to take it whatever size it actually is. And then I can use whatever photo that I want to use to make the movie. And it'll add a little margin on it. Because if you pick one of these, it's going to try and stretch it to fit that. And sometimes it's not very nice. If you want to make it exact, you can come in here, look at it, hit cancel, go back out, stretch it, go in again, see what it comes out to. So it kind of depends on how exact you want to be when you're doing it. If you're going to have a white background in your video, then having an extra white margin on it doesn't really matter. So I usually just use custom here. Say OK. And I kind of like to get this out of the way. Even though it says minimized during recording, as soon as I record, it's going to start recording that part of the screen. So if this is still here and it's flying away, you'll see that. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead, move this kind of out of the way, and hit play. And see, I rotated it while I was going. That's the other benefit of these. If I was using a mouse and I have the big thing showing how I was rotating it, here I can do it without showing anything else on the screen. So I can just reset it, and close it. Now if I go to my project file, and it wants to work. There you go. I can see what I did. So I could add a tweak and have those rotate once they get here, but it's not going to rotate while it moves. It can rotate or move, but not do both. So just make it go straight on. So there's a video now. You get a little video of it, how it goes together.
They can ask how to put it.
What's that?
That way they can ask how to put it together.
Yeah. And they actually have a thing called Inventor Publisher that you can use to make packages to send out that have videos and things like that, and the DWFs all in one thing. So now I've got my IPN file done. I'm going to close that, close my assembly, and I'm going to go grab my template. Drop my template into my project folder. Now I'm going to open that template. So base. Come on. Get my assembly file. Open. That was my front view, top view, create. No hidden lines, that's good. Now I can do another base view. This time I'm going to pick my IPN. And I'll tell that I want it to be top right ISO, right there.